Hello, my little children. I hope you all are doing wonderful in your life and studies must have become your friends by now. Apart from studies, we listen to wonderful stories during our LSK class, which is life skill class. So today also I have come here with a new story. And through this story, we would learn to accept the challenges of life because we know that human life can never be a bed of roses. It's not comfortable always. It's not acceptable always. But in those crucial times as well, we need to understand how to handle the situation. Okay? Sometimes we need to fight with our strength. Sometimes we need to fight with our weaknesses. So, in this way, if we become victorious, then we become a strong person. Okay, so in order to become victorious, we need to have some lessons in our mind. Lessons will provide us motivation, it will enthuse us so that we can accept the challenges and work on it. Okay, so let's begin with today's story, and at the end of the story, we will analyze minutely. Okay, the story that we listen to right now. Let's begin with the story. I hope wholeheartedly you will listen to this. Let's start. The title of today's story is Surmounting Challenges, and this is narrated by Saina. She is in class 3. One day it was warm and sunny. My dad took me to Family Park, which was nearby. As we walked in the park, he said the words he often tells me. Shaina, when you play, you must be brave and don't act like a spoiled child. I nodded, unconvinced, as I thought of what Mummy always says. She is our only child. How could she help but spoil? When a thing is scarce, it is precious. At the chain race in the park, Dad helped me climb the bridge and we began to go across it. When we came to the middle of the bridge, he suddenly loosened his hands and said, "Go over by yourself." In the past, Dad had led me over it several times, and each time he said to me, "Next time you will go over it by yourself. Don't always rely on me." I thought he then just said that, and I never expected that today he really wanted me to cross on my own. My goodness, what a high bridge it was! The iron chain was swaying all the time. You couldn't even stand on it steadily, let alone walk over it. I bent my neck and stretched out both arms. I was so scared that I dare not even breathe. "Dad, please take me down." "No, you must go over it. Otherwise, I won't love you anymore," Dad said. This made me anxious. Dad loved me very much. In my younger days, he took me to and from kindergarten. On the way back, he told me a great many moving stories. Once I promised my mom I would get 100 on 2 exams. But I failed and I felt very bad. Mom scorned me for only saying I would do well, but Dad wiped off my tears and said to me very gently, "It doesn't matter. You still have a chance next time." Dad loved me so much. How could I make him angry? I resolved to walk alone. "Go," I told myself and made the first step. What was the matter? Obviously, I wanted to put my foot on the board in front of me, but I couldn't help falling down. Before I knew it, I was in Dad's arms. I blamed myself for my clumsiness, but Dad smiled and said, "Very good. You are really brave to put forward the first step." When I heard this, I happily climbed up to the bridge again. However, my legs were not helpful at all. They kept shaking when I stood on the bridge. I was worried about what to do when Dad shouted to me, "Coward, I will go away if you don't get across." As he said this, he really turned his head away. I hurriedly said, "Dad, I will go over." Meanwhile, I stepped forward, but I had fallen to the ground when Dad looked around me again. The iron bridge rubbed a big piece of skin off my hand and blood oozed out. Dad immediately came over and helped me up. As he bound me, he comforted me, he embraced me and loved me. I felt wronged very much and burst into tears. It was all Dad's fault, for he was so stern and forced me to cross. It was not the only time Dad was hard on me. Once when it was too dark for me to do my homework in the house, he told me to do it in the courtyard. I asked Mom to take a small stool for me and Dad to get a chair. Dad not only refused to carry a chair for me, but wouldn't let Mom even to do. He said, "Saina, you should manage your own things." Though I felt angry, I couldn't do anything about it. Granny treats me like a ball in her hand, and Mom does whatever I say to her. Everyone except Dad. He was always hard on me. The more I thought of Dad's strictness, the sadder I felt, and tears began to pour from my eyes. At this moment, Dad tried in every way to please me. He wiped off my tears, bought me chocolate bars, and took me to ride the airship. When I saw him trying to make me happy, with his forehead sweating, I began to feel very sorry for him. I whispered, "Dad, I don't feel hurt now. Don't worry about me anymore." To my surprise, when he heard this, he drew me to the chain bridge again. He still wanted me to go over it. I flew into a rage and said I would tell Granny when we get home and she would talk to him. Seeing me disappointed and unhappy, my dad asked me, "Saina, do you still want to learn from those big girls on the women volleyball team who represents our nation?" I nodded, puzzled. He went on, "Do you think they could have won the championship if they had given up after they lost a game to the American team?" "Of course not. Why ask?" I suddenly understood that he meant for me to finish a thing I had started. He looked at me with confidence, as if to say, "It is up to you to complete it." With Dad's encouragement, I finally succeeded in reaching the other end of the bridge. I did not lodge any complaint against Dad with Granny. When we got home, instead, I took it in his advice. I took in his advice and gradually became brave. Now I can do some demonstrations in my physical training class and can finish any task the teacher gives to me. people say Saina is really not like an only child since she is not finicky at all. Whenever I hear this praise, I feel very grateful to Dad. Now I am the captain of my volleyball team and I am leading them. And this all happened because of motivation of my father during my childhood. I bow to him. I am grateful to him and remain throughout my life. Thank you, Dad. Children, by this story ends, and let us analyze this story now. In this story, we learn that even if we are a small kid, we should try to see positive thing in everything. Even if when our parent scolds us, we should understand that it is for our benefit. We should understand that it is to shape our future. It is to make us acquainted with the challenges of present world. And not only that, we should be self-reliant. We should be self-motivated. It's not necessary that our parents will remain with us forever. Sometimes we need to motivate ourselves by challenging our previous goals and previous achievements. Okay, we should not give up at the completion of our first desire or aim. We should accomplish all the desires that we have seen for ourselves and our parents. In this story, just like that brave girl, we should be brave. We should be able to fix the target and accomplish it. Sometimes we might get deviated, but it is up to us how to bring back focus in our life. And finally, I'd like to say that we must be optimistic. Even if we fail, we should hope for the best. Someday, we will be able to surmount the challenges, surmount the obstacles that we are encountering right now. So, through practice, everything will be possible. We should be consistent in completing our task. We should do it bit by bit, every day. We should practice a little every day, and which will culminate in a huge success. So, by this, I will end my story, children. I hope you liked it, and the positive things that you receive from the story you will try to ingrain in your life as well. By this, I'll end the story, and I hope that my children will be much more obedient, much more hardworking, much more industrious, and shape their own future. Thank you, everyone. We will meet in our next video. Till then, take care and stay happy, hearty, and healthy. Thank you.